Hello, welcome back to EDH on a Budget. I'm your host, Iceman, and today we're going to be going over 4 different cards for multi-target removal. And in this episode, we're going to be going over part 1 for multicolor. These cards are all going to be more than one color. First up, we have Casualties of War. This is a little expensive mana-wise, but cheap in price. It is only 13 cents. And it costs 2 black, black, green, green for the sorcery, and it says choose one or more. Destroy target artifact, destroy target creature, destroy target enchantment, destroy target land, and destroy target planeswalker. So you don't need to hit every single one of these for the spell to resolve. Any of them will work, and it's flexible where it could be any players. If you do even 3 of those to the same player, it's really going to set them back quite a bit. And if you wanted to spread it out, you certainly have that option. And you're always going to have a land you could take out. In most tables, you'll have probably an artifact and an enchantment to take out, for even if it's not from the same player. And you're definitely going to have a creature you could take out. The Planeswalker is going to be the only one that you may or may not be able to hit, because it may not be on the battlefield. But it's always nice to have that option. Next up, we have Windgrace's Judgment. This one is 18 cents. It is 3 black and a green. It's an instant for any number of opponents. Destroy target non-land permanent that player controls. So if you were an ally to one of your opponents and you agreed to not mess with them, you do have that option to not pick on the player who's like way behind. You'll destroy less stuff, yeah, but this one card can easily take out 3 things. It can't hit lands, that's the only restriction, but it being instant's pretty great because you're able to hold up your reaction, and since you're always going to be able to destroy stuff, it's not really going to whiff. Like, you're not going to be like, oh man, I don't have any targets for this. No, you're going to have non-land permanents you can hit. Even if somebody plays a mass bounce spell, maybe you don't want them recasting that stuff. Especially if it has a cast or ETB trigger, enter the battlefield. So I would definitely recommend tossing Windgrace's Judgment in. You can't always 1-for-1 removal. You're going to run out of mana, run out of cards. Next up, we have Urgent Necropsy. And this is an instant also for 2 black and a green. It costs 22 cents. It has, as an additional cost to cast a spell, collect evidence X, where X is the total mana value of permanents the spell targets. So it doesn't tell you what collect evidence is on here. There are other cards that reference it, and you can also go on, get the Oracle text for this, or go online to find out. But the basics are you exile cards from your graveyard, and the mana value of those cards is the mana value of the total mana value of permanence that this spell is targeting. Because you're going to destroy up to 1 target artifact, up to 1 target creature, up to 1 target enchantment, and up to 1 target planeswalker. So if you only wanted to do 1, you could do just 1. If you wanted to do more than 1, you could do more than 1. As long as you have the spells in your graveyard with the mana value to take out those creatures, you can. And tokens don't have any it's a 0 mana value. Tokens can be taken out for no additional exiling of cards from your graveyard. So say you're like, I want to take out that 4 CMC commander, I'm going to exile this 4 CMC card, and alright, and you know what, I'm going to take out that token creature as well. I don't need to add extra cards to that to take out that creature. So instant speed, getting extra utility from the graveyard, I really like that. It is really easy to put especially high mana values in the graveyard. You don't have to actually cast them. Black has so many ways to discard it. There's so many cards with cycle, alternative casting costs. It's really kind of like a second hand or a second land base when you're collecting evidence. And last for today, we have Dromoka's Command. This one, it's multi-target, but you'll see. It's pretty cheap. It's 11 cents. It's an instant for green and a white. Choose 2. Prevent all damage target instant or sorcery would deal this turn. So that's typically going to be red most of the time. Red has most of the damage spells. Target player sacrifices an enchantment, which gets around Indestructible and Hexproof and Shroud if it's their only one. Yes, if you're going up against a Enchantress deck, it's not going to be great because they have so many enchantments. They'll just choose the weakest one, not necessarily the one you want, but it's still going to set them back. The last 2 options are put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, so that could be used in combat via block and surprise them and have one of your creatures take them out. Or the last mode, target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. So you could easily take out an enchantment and a creature, or if that enchantment is a creature, then in that instance you may be able to take out 2. And with only 2 mana to cast a spell, it's got a very low cost to play, and it just doesn't seem impressive, but picking 2 of them is going to be what gets this over the hump and make it playable, in my opinion. The preventing damage spell is not going to happen very often, I admit that, and +1/+1 counter is going to be a lot better in a +1/+1 counter theme deck, but I definitely feel those last 3 have flexibility in what you use, and if you're running any Death Touch creatures, then it's just going to be a kill spell at that point. And that's it. Thanks for watching.